And we are live. Jorge Prospector of the Prospect Chase Box, together with my colleague and friend, Mr. Ron Bartley.
Hey, greetings from Southern California and the windy days of Santa Ana conditions down here. Stoking fires and ripping cards.
Greetings from North Central? No, wait. North Coastal. Coastal. I'm not north. I guess I'm northish.
It's the Central Coast.
Central coast-ish, almost northern. Is the
Yeah.
Bay Area north?
Yeah.
So I guess I'm ish. I'm almost there.
The funny thing is geography lessons. People look at the state of California. We always consider San Francisco Northern California.
It's really
You look
not
at the
that
map.
much.
There's a whole lot of
Yeah.
California up above it. People really don't realize how big this state actually is.
Yeah. So I'm always skeptical, and I'm always scared to say northern because it is Northern California, but it's more like mid
Everything
north.
from everything from Redwood City up is Southern Oregon.
That's
In
true.
reality.
It's a good point.
They all
topography.
act like they're from Oregon. Yeah.
Including topography. You know what's funny though? I've never been to Oregon. Never. It's been
They don't have a pro baseball team, so why bother?
Right. It's been on my list to at least check out a few places. I want to check. I have colleagues that have places in Bend, so I wanted to check that whole Bend scene out. I hear that's lovely. So
off topic of cards completely, but just like here in Southern California, you've got a coastal area of Oregon. You drive over the mountains and you're in this big flat desert range, and Bend sits there on that desert range right at the base of the mountains. So you've got the skiing and stuff right up above.
I hear it's beautiful. Yeah.
It's the kind of place where it's flat for miles and miles and miles, and you're driving along and all of a sudden you're on a suspension bridge you didn't even know was there,
right,
with 300-foot drop into a ravine that's a river down below it. So it's very interesting territory. The drive over the Cascades there is absolutely wonderful.
One of these days I'll have to plan it out. There's one big big product which I consumed out of Oregon in healthy amounts of, which is Oregon's got one of the best Pinot Noirs out there. Especially that always varies by season and by years, but ever since the fires that hit Napa, like 4, 5, 6, 7 years ago, ever since that, like I've consistently had more positive experiences with Oregon Pinot Noirs than Napa. I don't know how long those seasons last, of like how that soil it's really messed up because of it. But
well, you look at the regions, some of the Southern Washington wineries and stuff are on the same parallel as the latitude as the French wineries. So there's a lot of comparisons that go along with those things.
Oregon, you can't go wrong with an Oregon Cab or an Oregon Pinot Noir, especially last 8-9 years. But funny. I was texting back and forth with Carlos this morning. We were talking about Bowman Draft, which we'll talk about here soon. And he's working off site out of the Sacramento office, and I'm like, Sacramento, man, Sutter Health Park. That's where the A's are going to play this year. And I've never visited Sacramento either. So I'm like, hey, Carlos, I might make my Sacramento debut coming up here soon.
Well, the big road trip would be, my buddy just did this, and he flew up to Seattle, caught a game, drove down, caught a game in Oakland, and then one at whatever the Giants Park is called. But that was, he planned a trip around that particular drive, and he drove all the way back down the coast, back to San Diego here in a rental car.
Yeah.
So
it used to be AT&T Park. It's not AT&T Park anymore. It's something else.
Is it Oracle Park?
Yeah, there you go. Oracle Park. I think.
Yeah.
Pretty sure.
Yeah.
No, we really did, a prospect chase box retreat, if you will, gathering. We've done it in Petco Park and we've done it at Safeco. So next step, we gotta inaugurate that Sutter Health Park. I told them let's plan something out and see if a few folks can make the trip. Ideally for a Royals
Count
game.
Me in.
Ideally for a Royals game, a Mariners game, maybe even a Juan Soto team game, which purposely vague. But we can get into it. That's our first topic. Juan Soto. Where is he signing? Predictions.
Well, some of the things that you're hearing is that, there's no way he'll be able to do the deferred salary thing like Ohtani did, because Ohtani has such a huge salary and money draw outside of the straight income from the team. So all of the advertising and everything else he's part of, endorsements and sponsorships, make him $25 million a year alone. So Soto doesn't have that stuff. He doesn't have the presence in Japan and that extra international advertising.
Right. So all of this is kind of pending on what MLB does about this, because there was talk about them finding a loophole to be able to ex post facto modify this. That has to be collectively bargained. So I don't see how that they can change that. But yes, granted, he does not have the crazy Japan money coming in to make up for lost
deferring
value, deferred money. But I wouldn't put it past them to defer some of it, a considerable amount. Listen, he's been taken care of. Like, he's made crazy money in arbitration for the last 2 years, 3 years, whenever that is. Yeah, 3 years, I guess. So he's not like, he ain't broke. Like, he's made already a good 85 million in arbitration. So if not more. So I don't know. It's but you're right. Listen,
they're talking New York and New York.
The list of teams that can afford him, less than my hand. Really. Doesn't matter what you hear out there. We're talking about both New York teams and maybe one of these crazy players like a Toronto that always wants to hire to sign someone for crazy amounts, and they always lose out.
Yeah.
But I honestly don't. For me, it's New York or New York.
Well, when you look at the fact if he signs with Yankees again, the fact that his salary would be higher than Aaron Judge's more than likely, how does that work? Does that create a rift in that organization, or is there already one? I don't know. Be interesting to see.
It's ultimately going to come down to, and I have some connection to part of his team, so I don't want to comment too much, but I do know that he's very comfortable in New York. But I don't put the Mets past the whole thing, because ultimately New York is New York, right? And if the offer is significantly more, then at some point money talks. If it was up to me, if I was a betting man, I would say he remains the Yankee. But the offer's got to be good enough, close enough. Yeah. That's what I would think.
Well, the question when you look at the Mets is, are they going to be bringing Alonso back? It makes sense from a personality standpoint. He is a local kid. He's a kid who grew up with the Mets. Do you keep that and keep trying to build around it? He's not the top-notch player, but he brings something extra to the table. So
here's the situation with that, and I want to go back to Juan Soto, but let me wrap that. Let me bring how Pete Alonso,
he factors into the Soto deal. Yeah,
right. They
can't hire both of them.
So I don't see them. Listen, I don't see the Mets moving past moving on from Alonso, unless there is a trade to be made somewhere, because the free agent market for first basemen / DH is not great, not this year. And they don't have a other than moving Vientos to first base and then playing around with bringing in a third baseman, which could happen. My point is that I don't see them signing a first baseman, right? A free agent first baseman. So other than there being a trade out there that brings in a piece that's ready to contribute, either a third baseman or a first baseman, I don't see them pursuing that route. Now, granted, I think he stays in Met if it's a reasonable offer, if it's a reasonable number of years for them. They're not committing more than 5 years to him. So if he's looking for a if Scott Boras, again, who is his agent, if Scott Boras is looking for crazy number of years, he ain't getting it. I would imagine they'd be happy to settle at, we'll give you a high AAV, but 5 years, that's it. Maybe 5 and 180, 5 and 190, something, it's good money. It's crazy money. It's really good money. But they ain't giving him more than 5 years. He's 31, maybe 32, 30, 31, something like that. He's about 31, I want to say. 30. And you know what happens to first baseman sluggers after age 34? Like, he already had a down year. Now, granted, the conversation would be very different if he would have had a monster year. So definitely. That also factors in. So yeah, I mean, but at the same time, he's at an age and has an affinity enough to New York that I don't see Boras seeking a, what do they call it? A pillow contract? One of those like soft pillow landing, like 1 year and reestablish your market next year. I don't see that. He can't afford to do that.
Not for him. Not with the season he had this year.
So, anyways, I think, I don't know, if I was a betting man to close this loop, if I was a betting man, again, I would put him re-signing with the Mets at a reasonable price, because ultimately, like, it's tough to replace 35 homers and 100 RBIs every year. That's not an easy thing to replace. Granted, the strikeouts are alarming. The increase in strikeouts is alarming, but it's still 35 and 100 ribeyes. That ain't easy.
No. And if you bring in Soto there, though, you couldn't. Can they afford both of them? That's the real question.
I think they can. That's not an issue with this owner, and they've got a lot of money coming off the books this year and the next. So some of that money is covered by accounting practices. When you purchase a franchise, you have a depreciation sort of allowance up to like 7 years or something of your payroll.
You're able to write down certain
You're able
things,
to write down some things, and also there's money coming off. There's money covered by insurance from players that didn't perform because of injury or whatever. And I think they're in the books for Verlander and Scherzer for 1 more year. I think half of it or something like that. So they've got money coming off the books. If not this year, for sure next year. And if there's an owner who can afford some losses, it's this one. And listen, you built a momentum. You rejuvenated a franchise and a fan base. This is the time that you got to reload, right? Or not necessarily go crazy, but keep the momentum, right? Keep the core strong so that they can make another run. That's all you care.
That's exactly what happened to the Padres. New ownership came in with an excitement and the expectation that they wanted to build a team. So they've been able to take a market that was meh and turn it around, and that every game sold out. So, I mean, you look at the Padres selling out 64 games this season.
No, the
It's
Padres.
insane.
So the Padres, the commitment has been there from their, owner who passed away. Till
Side
now,
letter, he was
what,
yeah, he was one of the O'Malley family. I don't know if
yeah,
you realize that.
right,
Yeah,
yeah,
so he
yeah,
has
yeah,
that
yeah.
Dodger blue
Yeah.
blood in him. Brought that
Like,
passion down to San Diego, and people thought were very skeptical at first. But he turned it
mhm.
around, and he turned it around by investing in exciting players. I mean, if he had not passed, I think Soto would still have been a part of the team.
Uh,
They were very close,
yeah, they were
apparently.
close. They were close. I think and the fan, to their credit, the fan base in San Diego has been very supportive for the last
Yep.
4 or 5 years. Very patient in developing, in helpful and hopeful that management can figure it out,
Yeah.
right? Because they had the talent. To me, what I
Yep.
think what changed, in my opinion, what turned it around is I think they finally figured out what the right roster composition needed for that team was.
Yeah.
Not all superstars, personalities that may not necessarily mesh. At some point, they just threw a bunch of talent with no consideration to proper bullpen support, no consideration to proper role players on offense, defense, type of players. I think they finally figured out roster composition, and that made a difference.
Yeah, I think so as
when you
well.
rely on the Korean dude and the Profars, when those people are making contributions, like they did. Even Cronenworth, who batted $160 probably, but hey, played solid defense and gave you solid numbers.
Yep. So it goes back, and it all rolls back to what they did with Soto in that short time, and what they got out of him actually worked out for the Padres.
Oh, crazy!
Well.
They made out like a bandit, and Soto was Soto's not a fit in San Diego. He's not.
Yeah.
Not in that park. Soto's an East Coast Caribbean kid. He just is.
Yep.
He was never fully happy. And then I don't think I didn't like when talking about roster composition. I did not like Soto away from family, completely on the other side of on the coast, in a roster, in a team that's mostly young kids. Other than Matt Manny, it was one of those things where, like, I think, and you listen, you know this team more than I do. My impression is that the teams of years prior, say 2 years ago, 3 years ago, maybe last year even, was a little immature at times, lacked like that strong veteran presence. And I think he gets that from the Yankees, having a Stanton, having a Judge, having more of there's more adults in that room, in that roster, and there's a lot more rigidity in that organization, a lot more discipline in the way they go about things, and then being on the East Coast, full of like Dominicans, it's like playing your own country, man. So I think that's a big difference.
So how is Soto going to affect the price of this year's Bowman draft product?
I don't think there's any. But good transition. A good attempt at a segue.
No, the funny thing is, I told you I've been sorting through piles of cards.
I want to talk about that.
I have now found all these autos and things. People say, "Oh, I forgot I had this." Having been through this situation, I know I forgot about a lot of these. I pulled some Soto autos out yesterday as well. It's like, oh, I forgot I had this one. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
So
the remnants, lot of that going on. The positive spin on 2020 PTSD. PSD, what is it? Post-traumatic stress disorder. finding out that, hey, I bought a lot of shit in 2020, but hey, this is pretty good. this Shohei Ohtani auto now is worth something. Who knew?
Oh yeah, yeah. I grabbed stuff that's like, I forgot about that. Yeah, yeah. So Ohtani cards I pulled out the other day and shared.
Two of them.
Yeah, yeah. And then the tops now with the Fernando and Shohei together on the card. It's like, oh, I forgot I had these. It's like 20 of those or 10 of those. So it's like, all right, let's get them out of the little plastic case and put them in sleeve for now.
Sleeves and let them maybe them getting graded. No, man, I told you, I've had this conversation before. I'm sitting on like 70 Shohei rookies that I think are pretty good to grade. I just need to put away some hobby money to just because the those grading fees add up.
Yeah.
And so, yeah.
Tell me about the Clemson hat.
I know this is from a client. I have a client who's a Clemson booster, so I visited him once, 6 years ago when they were good, like 5 years ago, and I went to a game, the whole shebang. It was pretty funny. So I was like, the least I could do is buy a hat.
That was one of the things that I would do as I would travel. I'd always buy a hat at one of the stadiums. I'd get a hat from the stadium, hat from that stadium. I don't know what happened to those hats over the years, but I used to have about 10, 11 different hats from things. I mean, even the minor league parks. I had a Las Vegas Stars one somewhere. I've got the Charlotte Knights when they started up that franchise down there, or moved the minor league team to Charlotte. Fun things like that. It's a way to memorialize the trips.
Posting here. If you are here, say hello. So that's been going on. Tops now. So let's see what's happened since we last talked. I know that I received. So a few products have been already out for a while. Topps Chrome has been out for a while. Probably still selling well at their website. People are waiting on the official buyback announcements that comes in the 21st. Yeah, I think the first announcement is the rookies on the 17th or 15th, something like that, like the week before. Then pitchers like Cy Youngs, and then MVP is the last one, which sucks. You want to have that money up front.
Yeah.
I have like one buyback card. You probably have a lot more.
I've got about 6 or 7 stacked up right now. One logo factor, and the rest is just base Chrome.
Yeah,
I don't have a couple of Shoheis, a couple of Judges. So
I don't have
those. Will go back.
I didn't rip. I mean, I ripped some Chrome, not a ton. Some Chrome here and there, and so
mine came out of the logo factor boxes.
Okay. Yeah, I didn't rip much of that, and from legend or rumor is that those weren't coming out as often as before, which kind of makes sense because they jacked the checklist by 20 or something. So it makes sense that you get them less often. I did get an Ohtani logo fractor blue, which sucks because it has a print line. So I'm still debating whether it's worthy of $100 buyback or just keep it. I don't know.
Did you find out? Speaking of print lines, have you heard anything back from Topps?
I have not, and my package was delivered. Okay. So good point. I have completely forgot about following up. I mean, at this point,
there's those of us out here who want to know because we've got print lines right behind me.
No, I know. I know. But trust me, I know. Oh. I wanna. Actually, now that you mention it, I am. Let me. I'm logging into my what do you call it? My Topps account.
Your top.
Check if it's submitted, and I know they received it, but I haven't heard back. So I'll probably give it a week or so, and maybe next week I can send an email to find out like what's the typical timeline for that.
I myself opened a case this week just to say, hey, what's going on with this Morning Breath Ripken.
Oh, I saw that.
Auto.
You posted it on Twitter, is it? Or
yeah, I posted on Twitter as well, and it is oddly enough, it's really blown up on Twitter. I've got hundreds of
You're
replies
viral.
and people bitching at Tops about it. A couple people climbing on who got it, like David has.
Well, that's the intent. That's why you tag them so that people can piggyback and bitch about it.
But I did open the case before I posted, so I took the proper step first and then did the bitchy step. Still waiting to hear back. They sent an email back saying, "Hey, we received your email. Thank you."
Oh, they did. At least you got that.
That's all I got so far.
Yeah,
so.
I haven't even gotten that. So on Monday, if not tomorrow, maybe tomorrow, I'll just call and be like, hey, like just making sure that this was, accepted and whatever. So we'll see. But no, you're right, because there is something there. I don't know. I have. What do you think they'll do? Do you think they'll send me a few packs?
I don't know. They're supposed to send back something equivalent, dollar wise, and generally, from what I've heard from other people, they'll send you something, or they may actually offer you a couple of things to select from, and then they always throw in a couple of packs.
What's interesting and what makes it kind of like, I don't know, because you're right, that's typically what they do, but this being a current product, which they have tons of, and my submission being mostly base cards, by base cards I mean base cards, right? And I mean a few rookies, I think, but base cards, and then two color cards, two numbered cards.
Yep.
I don't know if they for the parallels. I don't know if they have them ready. Maybe they do have them somewhere, but I have a feeling they'll probably send me. If so, again, I love this is the phrase of the live. If I was a betting man, I would say they would. They're gonna send me like a few autos of like some random rookie that no one knows about.
Yeah.
And maybe one or two packs, something like that. Which, I mean, listen, I'll take it, and I'll just randomize it to you guys or whoever the victims were. If I find out, if I have them somewhere in my life, because it was a break, right? It was a break. Yeah, it was a break.
Yeah. One of mine was you pointed out last time was the image variation. So I was waiting to hear what you did before I started moving on mine.
Oh, so thank you for the reminder, because I clarified it. I clarified it with the person, with Christina, but I didn't clarify it on my social media. It was not a variation.
The one that I pulled was a variation.
Oh, you were? Yeah, I thought in the live we thought that we had pulled an Evan Carter variation.
Yeah.
Wait,
I checked the numbers on the back of mine to be sure.
No, wait, something. Hold on, I'm blanking out. Either what was it? I think it's that. Oh, I know what it was. Sorry, not that. We did pull an Evan Carter variation that belongs to Christina, which reminds me, I have to send that card to her. We thought so. The funny thing is the way that picture was taken, the image that they used. There's something in the background that in Chrome logofractor effect foil format messes up the image. Like maybe someone was holding some type of reflecting device in the background or something. And the effect on the logofractor foil, whatever treatment that they give to the card, it looks like a smudge, like a terrible like logo.
A defect right in the middle of the
card.
Yeah,
defect, like in two places, like the logo, because the way that the effect that it has is that the logofractor MLB logo, that's the pattern, it stops there, and it's like a smudge. It's the weirdest thing. Like that smudge part, that dot or that space has no logofractor foil effect. So we're like, damn, this looks terrible. But then before I submitted it, I was like, I wonder if other cards have the same issue. And I went on eBay, and all the cards look the same. So I did not have. Thank God I didn't submit it, because who knows what happens? They keep it or something, or they'll probably send it back. But anyways, how's the audio still? Good. Okay, you got something?
No.
All right, so that's Chrome update. Update's been hot. Update paper's been hot. A lot of formats. All the formats are now finally readily available. The last one to appear is the Fanatics exclusive blaster. I have not gotten any. I want to. I was waiting to hear. I mean, I saw that based on the odds that are published and the people that do the breakdowns of the best value, whatever, and we've discussed it here that hangers and Fanatics blasters are the best value, the best bang for your buck. But it's always good to like see some people ripping it to see like what exactly is coming out of there more often than other formats. And so the little that I've seen is that so it's been mixed because I've seen some people that have completely been bumped, completely like bombed product, like nothing, nothing good really. And I've seen some people hit like, oh my god, like 4 or 5 cards in one pack, all numbered, stuff like that, crazy stuff. Go ahead.
It was Star Wars.
Oh, you got a package you just opened? Is that UPA or something?
No. It's they dropped this a couple weeks ago, or a week ago or so. Sold out instantly.
Did you pre-sell it?
I have not pre-sold it, but I picked up 2 of those. Luckily that morning when it dropped, and all these people were screaming about how they didn't get it. It made me wish I would have bought more and sold it off. I've got some people who will want that, but
have you
it'll go on the shelf.
any more cancellations or attempts at cancellations of the Ohtani?
Just the one.
Okay.
Just the one. And it's funny because the guy says, I ordered it by mistake. Here's the entire conversation we're having about the fact that it won't ship for a while. And you're saying, okay, just make sure that you know that it's important to get this in good condition. Yeah, absolutely. Oh, I ordered it by accident. Whatever. So I just went ahead and approved it.
That's just a kid, likely.
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, you would think.
A lot of people jumped on it. We'll see how that goes. So that was just
the thing is, people don't want their money part. A lot of people bought without realizing that it's not available till like December or who knows when.
Even though it says it clearly in there, but we'll see. I've got to learn a couple of those tricks. Somebody was talking about having 180-day thing on there because the only thing I saw was a 40-day lead time. But
I think back in the day you could do I think it was up to 120 days, something like that. But for some reason, I want to say that they have changed that. Also, I don't know if you do it on the phone or on the computer, it's different for some reason. Shouldn't be, but
we'll have to bring in. I don't remember who was mentioning it. If it was Carlos or one of the other folks, we'll have to bring them on for one of these lives. We'll have a live maybe in the future talking about how to properly set up your eBay sales and such. So people will know what to understand because right now people are getting inundated with product and they got to get rid of it.
Absolutely. One trick that I've done too is that because I think the important thing is for you to if you're not going to keep tabs, if you're not going to have an Excel sheet with the customer name and address and all that, if that's too much work, then you've got to print out the label. At some point within the time, you got to print out the label, even if you're not going to use it, because the post office won't take it. For example, it's too late. It's been. I think there are some. I think UPS or USPS. There's a
30-day is what. Yeah,
what is it?
Warren let me know that it was a 30-day.
30-day. Yeah. So I think at some point you just got to keep tabs on it. At some point, print it out. So at the very least, you have the address.
Yeah, I've got to get back to using my spreadsheets again for the stuff. where I track, order numbers from Tops and things like that. So for the tax purposes and things going back, so if I get over a certain point, I want to be able to say, hey, I spent 570 on this. I sold it for 670. They took this amount of fees out of it, so I made $50.
Right. No, I did. I have that too. I have it for my wax purchases, my wax inventory. I haven't been as good at it though recently. Maybe in the new year.
I haven't been since since the divorce happened and everything. I was tracking everything prior to that when they first announced the change where everybody was going to get taxed.
Well, I got an email the other day from eBay.
Me too.
You got it? Sometimes they don't. They say whatever. It's not this year.
It's a bulk mail. I did not sell enough this year to qualify, or maybe one of the sales because it was over $600. That was
I did because I sold some Japan cards. Those people who pay crazy money. If anyone sees this, I still have my Shota Logo Fractor Auto Orange number 25 available. I want to sell it ideally off eBay. And my Ryan Sandberg Hall of Fame statue event.
Yeah.
An induction statue thing. 225 auto also available for any Cubs fans.
Now, the interesting thing with that particular auto, if it had been the 49, it would have looked great with all the blue. Yeah. It looked great originally on the 99 with all the blue. Yeah. The 25.
No, but the purple looks cool too. The purple looks cool too. I think I've seen another one that doesn't look that good. I think the greens, the red looks amazing. Yeah. You can imagine. The blue and the red, that looks amazing. But the blue, the purple's okay. I'll sell it. I'm just gonna have to discount it, so it's fine. Okay, so Tubs update. Yeah, we let's see. Fanatic Blasters
Stadium Fanatics Blasters are buy if they start selling them out there again. Are they even online again?
I think they should be available. I don't see why not. I don't. Yeah, they just came out not too long ago, so they should see. I don't know why. And again, if Fanatics gave us some freaking discount codes or something, heck, we would buy
I keep
a few.
Looking. But Stadium Club, I've started looking over here at the pile of wax. Stadium Club sitting on top of the pile right now, so we have that out there. The interesting thing that we've learned today, and it's been corroborated with several folks, is that in the Blasters, they seem to be running a theme of an entire team of red in there. Not
are you talking about retail? Or are you talking about the compact boxes?
No, I'm talking about the Blaster box, the value box. Yeah,
value box. Okay.
Yeah, so they're running a theme in there of you'll hit like I hit all Yankees, another guy hit all Orioles, another guy hit all.
But that's on the that you're talking about. You're talking about the Reds,
yeah, or the red parallels.
Okay. And is it every box or just random boxes?
It seems to be a lot of people getting it, so we're trying to corroborate. But I've had about 6 or 7 people say, "Yeah, they hit it all as well," and that's in the.
Dude, if you're asking my opinion, I think it's a collation snafu. But
it's interesting that
the way they're going to spin it is they're going to spin it.
Yeah. So it was interesting. So we're trying to find answers on that one. When they came out with the offerings, I think this with the compact box, the compact box or something was free shipping, something like that.
Oh, the combo.
The combo when they came out.
Yeah. But that's not a compact box. It's a value one. Yeah.
No, but I picked this up as part of that combo, so I didn't pay shipping on it. Combo sits on the shelf over there.
My boxes were delivered yesterday as well. I have, but I have them for the PCB. I got a hobby and I got a compact. So I don't know what I'm gonna do with a compact. I might rip it. I might just have some fun with folks and just buy a pack or whatever. Let's rip it, see what we get. There's one auto in there. And the hobby has 2 autos
sitting over here as well. So
yeah, we'll see. That came out today. So update. I'm trying to complete some sets so I can sell them. I ripped enough. I ripped a good amount of hangers mostly, and yeah, and so I like that. But
So if you guys have a lot of update, reach out and
reach out, please.
chat. Yeah, because Jorge is trying to put together sets. Like I have one from 2022 update sitting on my shelf here, courtesy of the Prospector.
There you go. I'll trade base for like color stuff, whatever your team is or whatever. What else? So a few things. So Bowman, okay. So announcements or recent releases, whatever. So today we hit the pre-order of Bowman Draft.
Yep.
I don't know if I haven't logged in again. I don't know if it's sold out. It wouldn't surprise me. Allegedly sold out.
It had not sold out a little while ago. So
yeah, I don't think so. It's too expensive. So they upped the prices. So okay, a few
$520.
A few comments
$520
on because they did finally released together with the pre-order, which hadn't happened in years prior. They released the OS and the checklist at the same time as the pre-order. Sometimes people had to pre-order on faith that the product was good.
Yeah.
And so I think I read somewhere that 22 of the first drafters, whatever, dudes are in the product. However, I think the class is somewhat weak-ish. Definitely not strong. Although I saw a comment by Warren that said the class was strong. I disagree. What I read is that the class is okay, tending to weak to okay. I don't know the composition or the ratio of batters of position players to pitchers. I don't know it. But let's just say that the class is okay. They upped the price. So last year, the pre-order hobby was $480. Now it's $520.
$520 on the pre-order. Yep.
On pre-order, and then Super Jumbo or whatever it's called, it went from who knows how much, high 600s to 740.
730 or 740. I don't remember the exact.
I put it on my comment somewhere in here. 7. So 520 and 740. That seems steep to me. That seems like a short-term note to Topps. I don't see that.
Yeah.
I don't see that. I don't see them increasing that price by that much regular release.
Yeah. And for Prospect Chase Box, it doesn't fit. The Super Jumbo doesn't, or the Jumbo. They're calling it Hobby and Jumbo. So the Jumbo doesn't fit the format because there's 5 packs in that.
Yeah,
five packs in there, 120 cards per pack.
Yeah. Whenever I've ordered that for inventory for the PCB, it's been the 3 auto jumbo format, the regular jumbo, not super.
Or there's a bunch of packs with 32 cards per pack.
Not a bunch. It's 10 packs, 10 or 12. I want to say 10. I don't
remember the exact number, but it was definitely a lower card per pack count at 5.
I mean, they're still whatchamacallit. They're still fat like huge jumbo packs. But let's see. I mean, I just open right now. So the jumbo sold out.
Well, at 120, yeah. Oh, it did. So at 120 cards per pack, 5 packs, you're talking about having a break with that rather than trying to do it in a pack lineup. It would have to be a straight break.
So like I said, the hobby has 12 packs, 30 something cards in it, and again 3 autos. The jumbo, like Ron was saying, has 5 packs. Those huge 5 packs.
The only thing you could do with something like that is offer a 5-pack random pack. Each pack you assume has an auto in it at but 200 each.
Yeah. But honestly, what I was discussing with Carlos this morning as we were kind of debating the release and whatnot, the price points, is that there's no meat. There's no meat in that bone for flipping. It's a rip product or just break it with the PCB or any other breaker of your choice. because it's just not worth it.
Yeah.
It's there's nothing there.
One of my Twitter threads was talking about the fact that Topps is probably going to go into the financing game and offer you value financing.
They are already
in the future.
In the finance game.
Well, they're on the opposite
Their
side,
finance
taking
game.
your money and working with it. Yep.
Their finance game.
Instead, turn around and offer financing to, hey, Topps Credit. Let's open up a credit line for you. What can I do to put you in a case of jumbo today?
What seems to be funny, and I don't want to spend much time on this, but they have seemed to put a stop on them trying to sell the company to unload a
buyer. Take it public. They were talking about taking it public now, so
right.
That's the whole thing. They're trying to move
towards that
that's
been halted. So
yeah,
we'll see with that. Anyways, they're probably they're knee deep in revenues, but also knee deep in expenses. So they haven't probably found the right balance of that. So that's
it's too high. So for most of our group, this is going to be, hey, we'd rather spend our money on Sapphire, as we've talked about when that comes out. But the other thing still coming out is Chrome Update. Now, it's next week it's released, but as you mentioned to me and reminded me, last time you said sticker autos. Is it going to be sticker autos again?
That's the big. Listen, the product itself still has a lot of draw because it has all those MLB debut cards, and I don't know if you saw, but the list of folks getting a debut card, it's significant, and it's quality.
Pretty significant. Yep,
it's quality rookies. So that will always, like the Ellie should be in there, I would imagine, and others that have made their debuts. And those, I'm imagining there's going to be a huge, what do you call it? A huge
a band?
No, a price on it.
Price point for the retail.
No, they're going to be. Oh my God, I'm blanking out. I've slept 4 hours, folks. David Adams is going to put.
So it happens when you get up at.
David Adams is going to put a big price on the LE debut card. What do you call that? I'm blanking out.
Oh, a bounty.
A bounty. Yes. There's bound. There's bound to be a bounty on that and other rookie debut cards.
Yeah. Sorry, one of my friends, Jeff, he hit the Volpe.
Really?
150,000 for that. Yeah.
Wow. Take it to the bank. Love it.
Oh, he definitely did. This is a guy who had kind of stopped working and decided to just focus on the cards for a while and hit that right away. So
Wow. That's life changing money, because you can put things that you can put. I would put that thing to work for me like crazy.
Yep, he did. They came out. They flew out, met him. Filmed the whole thing, the interaction with him, and
that's awesome.
Changing the card. Awesome. And luckily, he'd filmed. He was screwing around, filming, practicing, and filming the opening and ripping of that box when he hit the guard.
That's crazy.
He'd put on white gloves, the whole nine
yards. I don't know about that.
Just to screw it was, and boom, he hits that one. It's like, wow.
Yeah, I mean, let me rephrase. Let me qualify my answer. It's not life changing money, but it's hobby changing money.
Definitely.
It's your hobby. It's your hobby approach changing money. Able to sell off some stuff and focus on what you want, and absolutely pay for what you really want. That's really good. What was I gonna say? So no, absolutely. To me, Bowman Draft, it's a no. It's a no for me. It's a pass for me right now, because I don't think the products. I mean, the product may be good. You never know these things. But the price is too much, and I don't think it always goes up. And depending on whether the class ends up being decent or whatever, it'll keep climbing or whatever. And it's never gonna go down. You're never gonna lose. You're never gonna lose money. I've never said lever, but you seldom lose money.
Yeah.
On a Bowman Draft box.
Yeah, I watched a few auctions of it go off on eBay. I've looked at some different products from the past few years on the jumbo with the 5 autos in it, just to kind of see how it were going. So I threw in some bids in there, and next thing you know, I'm blown out of the water by what some of these have turned around, because that class was good. So all of a sudden, that jumbo that sold for $400 then is hitting $900 to $1,000 now. It's like, okay, so
my point is that I think I can, if I want to play with that, if I want to get some of that, I think I can do it later, and maybe with some buyback money on David Adams. I don't think that product's gonna be like. Listen, now if it sells out like immediately and there's none of it anywhere, then that's another issue. But I'd rather spend my money on Sapphire.
Yep.
And on Chrome Update.
Yeah. And to look at what happened today, the fact that it didn't sell out within the first hour tells you a lot, that the price point was a little too high for most folks to want to jump on it.
And jumbo boxes and jumbo cases are always going to sell first. And that's not an indicator of the market, because those are bought up by breakers and people selling to breakers. So people want to get their 1 or 2 orders in because they know that they can resell that to breakers and make 10, 15%, whatever. So that's why those sell out first. That's the ultimate breaker pack, because it's easy to just go straight to the autos, whatever. And the base goes from the camera immediately. They don't even look at it. They just get all the paper and whatever and put it in a stack, and they just focus on the Chrome autos and parallels and whatever. So that's what that sells out, and that's why the hobby box is still there. The hobby is more for the average. I mean, those get broken too, but it's 12 packs and it's difficult. Anyways, what else?
I am looking forward to Chrome next week. Next week is Chrome.
And listen, I think Sapphire is not too far away.
Yeah,
I think Sapphire is likely, if Chrome Update is next week, I don't think they're stupid enough to release them at the same time. I think, but they're probably weeks apart only. So it wouldn't surprise me if Sapphire goes up.
You look how fast. Yeah, you look how fast Update came out after Chrome was released. Chrome was released. Boom, Update was released right after it. Now we have Update Chrome coming in, and then Sapphire. Boom. So it's every couple of week cycle right now.
Right.
Hey, you gotta pay your employees somehow.
What haven't we covered? In our next episode, we'll likely start looking at. I think the GM meetings are happening. I want to say. Those are immediately after Thanksgiving, so that's more like first week of December.
2 episodes. But we've got to start looking at the Black Friday deals. See if there's Black Friday stuff coming up that can benefit the group here.
True.
If there's anything particular, David Adams has been throwing out stuff at me like crazy lately.
Everyone
turn around. It's like. I don't want to buy.
They're trying to unload a bunch of
22. Crap. I saw 23 Chrome Platinum Anniversary.
You saw that?
I did not see 20. Yeah, I did, but I didn't see 22.
So. 22 is kind of dried up, honestly.
Yeah.
I was lucky to find one of those random sellers online, like a small shop that had like 5 boxes left, and I grabbed them. I had to pay like 30 something, 34, something like that for them, which is more than sticker price. But I used them for the PCB,
and it is your favorite product at 22.
Oh my god, so good. Well, it's not my favorite. It's my favorite DCPA.
Yeah,
I mean, listen, come on, let's be honest. It's tough to argue against that design,
and the design is good, and the fact that if you have it in a break or something like that, everybody's getting hits. It's not just today's stars. It's a mix of old and new. So
and the base cars look way better from a QC standpoint than 23. I don't care much about 21. I think it's like I don't like it. I think people that love that 51 design from back in the day, I think they like it, but to me, it's I can't tell the name that well on the bottom. It's kind of small. I don't know. I like it. And listen, I like the 53 design too. I like the 2023 or 54. Sorry. Is it 54 design? Yeah. I like it, but I have an issue with how the base cards look, and in the QC is pretty terrible. A lot of print lines, and now the colors, like we've talked about, I think the colors look amazing.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Anyways, I don't remember if I had those here. I did find my entire collection of those that I had. I had those displayed, the Garvey set displayed along with.
Did you finish it? No, you haven't, right? You still have...
No. I got down to the 25s, and I haven't been able to get anything lower than a 25 on it. So,
what are the Does that set, just like the prior one? Does that set also have those like retail only Impossible parallels?
There was a retail only,
the red
gold
prism or something.
It was the gold prism. I got everything but the gold prism. There was 50. They said approximately 50 of those. I still haven't seen one come up yet.
And there's a red prism too, right?
I got the red prism.
Those are tough too, right?
Yeah, there's a prism, a blue prism, I think a red prism, and the gold. And the
those
gold
aren't even
I have
numbered,
not been able
right?
No, not numbered.
You just know that it's very like 10 or 5 or whatever.
Yeah. Based on the odds, they put
odds.
out. It's one in so many packs. This was the odds of hitting one, etc. But it was retail only, and this one was hobby only, and this one was light only. Right. So there were so many different combinations and permutations. You had to be an eBay buyer rather than a.
And I guess this is the last topic before wrapping up. We're heading close to an hour. Is there going to be a 24 TCPA? Has that been talked about?
I haven't looked, but I would sure hope so.
Now, remind me, if you know, is 24 TCPA the first of the horizontal designs, or is that next year?
I don't know.
Because
take a look.
I want to say that because the 2022 design, it's the 53 set, right, or 54? You remember?
I thought it was 54.
54, right?
Yeah, I thought so.
I want to say that either this one coming up or the following, it's the first of the horizontal tops design. Let me see, 1955 tops.
When they do hit the 60, which is mostly horizontal, I'll be all in on that one, unfortunately.
No, so yeah, I was right. The one I like, 22, is based on 53 tops. 54 tops is this year.
Okay.
And then 55, you're right. So presumably, if they come out with it this year, this is the first TCPA horizontal design, which honestly, I'm not that crazy about. However, they do look really cool. Sorry, like from what do you call it? From
is it the one with the shadow image?
It's a Sandy Koufax one.
Oh, okay. So 55. It has the shadow image. It has the second image of the
second image to the right, and then next year, the following year, it's the Clemente card with they're very similar. So 55 and 56 are very similar in design, very similar. Because the Clemente card also has him like making a catch in the back or whatever. The Koufax, it's him kind of posing on the steps of the dugout. But what's different? It's they played around with the way that the name of the team and the name, like one is in the bottom left, 55, and top left in 56, something like that. They look very different, very, very similar. So I don't know how they're gonna deal with that. Because if you think about it, if you have them fresh in your mind, Ron, the Clemente rookie and the Koufax rookie, from a design perspective, they look somewhat similar. But anyways, that's all the time we got. We can continue talking forever, but I think this is a good point to leave it. Don't spend money on Bowman Draft. Not yet, folks. Save some of that money for the PCB, which, by the way, quick plug, I have 2 boxes remaining. 2 boxes of the PCB. If you send me a DM and you're nice about it, I can give you a discount. Go for it, Ron. Yep.
And I
you hear
just
me?
lost you.
Oh my God, it's still happening.
I can't hear again.
I was like, is it happening at the hour mark
here?
No. No.
It's just happening at the end here. It wasn't. It just happened at the end. So
okay.
Anyway,
all right.
There's 2 boxes remaining, is what I heard.
Yes.
So buy those 2 boxes from Jorge, and let's get this show on the road. We'll see you next time we go to Coffee Rip. This is Ron from Southern California out, and Jorge up in the Central Coast, Upper Central Coast.
Later.
All right. Thanks, you guys.